I get asked by beginners all the time, what type or style of beer should I brew first? So first of all, not a lager. There's two types of beers, two styles of beers, and then there's subcategories between them all. I'm not going to get into that in this video. Don't do a lager first. It takes too long. More complication involved in it. So you definitely want to do an ale. Then the question comes down to what type of ale. I don't care if you're doing kits or you're doing all grain. The easiest beers, and I've kind of made myself some notes here to kind of go over with you. Some of the easiest beers you want to make are ones that are going to have simple ingredients, forgiving fermentation, lower alcohol, and less complicated process, meaning not a heavily hopped beer. You don't want to do that starting out just because it adds different complication. Also, beers that you really get to dial in the water chemistry, you don't want to do those either starting out. You just want something real simple just so you can get the basics down, okay? Basics being the sanitation, fermentation. You know, if you do an all grain, the mash, all that good stuff, how to chill. And instead of having to get all into all the complicated, you know, changing your water and, you know, okay, we got 40 different hop additions and all that stuff. Just keep it simple and focus on the basics. So, few beers I'd recommend you start out with: blonde ale, 100%. Very simple beer, forgiving, very hard to mess up. If you want, there will be a few hop additions, you know, 1 to 2 typically in the brewing process. And then if you want, if you're into, you know, like hazy, juicy type of beers, just dry hop. Dry hopping's the easiest way to get started. You know, if you want to add a different aroma, different flavor to it, do the dry hop, which I'm not going to get into it here, but it's very simple. I've got links I'll put under this video where you can learn how to dry hop. But basically, you're just adding some hops to your fermenter. Typically, about 4 days after the active fermentation about 4 days into the fermentation, as soon as the active fermentation stops, and then do it again towards the eight day mark, okay? And throw in some Citro, Mosaic, whatever, you know, Centennial, Cascade, whatever type of flavor you like. Just do a little research. On my blog, I got all kinds of posts about hops and what they bring to the beer. Second, I would recommend would be a pale ale. Pretty much as simple as a blonde ale, almost identical. Wheat beer, they ferment fast. They're quite forgiving, and they're a great first beer. You're not going to see me do too many of those because I don't like wheat beers that much, but definitely an easy one. Also an amber ale, very simple, darker beer if you're into that. My cat's destroying my brewery over there. Amber ale, very balanced, beginner friendly, easy to drink, not a complicated process. So as I said, styles to avoid, they would be the high alcohol beers. Don't get into that starting out because that increases the complication for sure. We already talked about lagers because they take too dang long. You're 8 weeks minimum, and you got to really dial in the temperature control for fermentation. Or an ale, you can just brew it in, you know, room temperature. You're going to be fine. Lager, you got to drop her down low because it's different yeast. They ferment at different temperatures. Don't get into the complex recipes, like I said, which would be the hopping. I wouldn't get into New England IPAs and all that for your first batch. You know, tackling your second or third batch. They're not harder, but you want to dial the simple process back. And that cat's going to drive me nuts. He's now in a box, running around my apartment. It's my daughter's, and I don't live in an apartment. I don't know why I just said my apartment. Anyway, it's my daughter's cat. She brings it over when she's visiting. So that's it. Start simple. Build confidence, learn the process, get it down, make some good tasting simple beers, and then slowly progress into more stuff. Let's make beer easy, baby. Make it easy, keep it simple, learn one step at a time, don't stress it. It's hard to screw up beer. It's beer, it's gonna be drinkable. If you follow what I teach, and it's gonna taste good. Don't stress it. Your first beer doesn't have to be perfect, okay? If you follow the process, sanitation, schedules I've talked about in my videos, you're going to have a good tasting beer. So that's what I got, guys. If you're new to brewing, be sure to check out the link under this video for my Beginner Brewers Bootcamp 7-day series where I walk you through the basics of brewing beer. If you've been brewing for a while or you're looking into it all grain, also under this video, there'll be a link you can get my 5 best recipes for my top 5 selling beers from my brew pub. That's what I got, guys. Any questions, reach out. Big Rob, well, he's always here, and right now he gone. Yeah.